Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, how did I end up so far behind? Maybe you thought that by now you'd have your career figured out, your finances stable, your whole life in order. But instead, you just feel stuck. If that sounds familiar, I get it. That's exactly where I found myself when I entered my 30s. I was broke. A long-term relationship had just ended. My job felt completely meaningless. My health wasn't great. And if I'm being honest, I didn't even like the person I had become. It really felt like everyone around me was moving forward while I was just standing still, watching them pass by. And maybe you're feeling something similar right now. Maybe you feel embarrassed that you're not where you thought you'd be. Maybe you feel like time is running out, like the life you always imagined is slowly slipping through your fingers. But I want to tell you something really important. Feeling lost doesn't mean your story is over. Sometimes it's actually the beginning of something much, much better. Somewhere along the way, our society created this unofficial timeline for success. You graduate from school, you start a career, you make good money, find the right partner, buy a home. And if you haven't checked all these boxes by your late 20s or early 30s, it can feel like you've already failed. But here's the truth. Most people don't actually have their lives figured out. It just looks that way from the outside. Everyone is learning, adjusting, and trying to figure things out as they go. Life is far less organized than it appears on social media. Believe it or not, feeling lost can actually be a positive sign. Think about people who are exactly the same today as they were 10 years ago. They have the same habits, the same mindset, the same routine. That isn't always contentment. Sometimes it's just complacency. You feel like something in your life needs to change. That discomfort is often a signal. It's a signal that you're ready to grow. And real growth usually starts with that uncomfortable feeling that something is missing. Another perspective that completely changed my thinking was realizing just how long life actually is. If someone is 30 years old and lives to be 70 or 80, they still have decades ahead of them. That is a massive amount of time to learn new skills, to change your direction, and to build something truly meaningful. Imagine believing your life is over when you still have 40 or 50 years left to grow. Your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else's. One simple idea that helped me rebuild my life is this. Every day is day one. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday or last year. Every single day gives you a brand new chance to start again. You are not trapped by the person you were yesterday. You can build new habits. You can learn new skills. You can change your entire direction. But it all starts with making the conscious decision to move forward, one step at a time. When I entered my 30s, I still didn't have a clear career path. Even though I did well in school, I had spent years just moving from job to job, and nothing ever felt right. Eventually, I realized something had to change. So I decided to invest in new education and learn new skills while I was still working my full-time job. At first, it felt really discouraging. Many of my peers were already so far ahead in their careers. But after a few years of consistent daily effort, things started to shift. New opportunities appeared. My responsibilities grew. And slowly but surely, my life started moving in a completely different direction. Progress can happen a lot faster than you think once you commit to making a change. Another important step is learning to understand yourself better. A lot of people feel lost because they never stop to ask themselves the deeper questions. What do I actually want? Not what my parents want, not what society expects, but what do I want? What kind of life do I want to build? What are my real strengths? What kind of work genuinely excites me and makes me feel alive? These answers don't just appear overnight. But the more honest you are with yourself, the easier it becomes to choose the right path for you. And remember, you don't have to have everything figured out right away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just experiment. Try new things. Take on a new side project. Learn a skill just for fun. Every experience teaches you something valuable about yourself. Even when something doesn't work out, you gain clarity. And that clarity is what moves you closer to finding the right direction. So if you're watching this right now and feeling like you're behind in life, I want you to remember this. Your story is not finished. Your past does not define your future. Life is not a race and everyone moves at their own pace. Some people find their path early in life, others discover it later on. And both of those journeys are completely valid. What matters most is that you just keep moving forward. Because every day is a new beginning. Thanks for watching.